is really easy.
Oh, yeah, because
I know. Let's send her a picture and make her get home.
oh yeah, we're almost all here.
One of the left of them are always black.
Okay. Aliyah can join us this afternoon. She emailed me.
Okay.
Dark.
Oh, I didn't know you were taking a picture. Oh. For Leah, it's for Leah. Might be on to be in it.
I think this is always our legacy here.
It's part of the culture. Do you guys have anything you want to say in particular? You're good.
Say, oh well, class was so fun today.
She's gonna get it. She's gonna get it. We already know.
Okay. Magandang hapon. Okay. So we will cover 2 lessons for this afternoon. But don't worry, these are just easy lessons, more on the expressions part. We'll have Aralin 5, ang aking mga gamit. What is gamit? Thing or object. Okay. Aralin 6, mga bayan at bansa at ang aking nasyonalidad. What is bayan? Okay. Bansa? Also country? Okay. Bayan is like the town or the province. Okay. And then bansa is country. Okay. Nationalidad. Okay, very good. Context cluing nationality. Okay, and then we'll have takdang aralin and then I'll give you the panuto para sa pagsasanay. Okay? Let's start with these questions. Michelle. Ano ang gusto mong hapunan? Hapunan means agahan, tanghalian, hapunan. So, what is hapunan? Agahan is from umaga, which means morning, right? Tanghalian is tanghali, from tanghali, which is noon. Hapunan, okay, it's from hapon, afternoon, but of course you have your meal in the evening. So, ano ang gusto mong hapunan, Michelle? Can you complete the sentence? By the way, if you answer questions like that, the easiest way is for you to remove the first interrogative pronoun that you can see in the sentence. So, for example, ano, and then you change mo because I'm the one asking, it's you, right? So you change it to I or me. So change it to ko or kong. Okay. So Michelle, ano ang gusto mong hapunan? You start first with ang. Ang gusto. You don't have to translate whatever you want to eat for dinner, okay? Just, yeah. Okay. Are you sure you want bread for evening?
Oh. Well, I was trying to say like.
It's okay. You don't have to translate the name for the food. Okay. Ang gusto kong hapunan ay tinapay at what's the other one you mentioned?
Like just generally soup.
Soup. Okay, in Filipino that is sopas.
Sopas?
Okay, yeah, sopas. So ang gusto kong hapunan ay tinapay at sopas. Okay. Second one. Sino ang matalik mong kaibigan? Jackson. Matalik means best, closest. Sino ang matalik mong kaibigan? Si
Si Nadine.
Nadine. Okay. Ang matalik kong kaibigan ay si Nadine. Very good. Eva, ano ang pangalan ng nanay mo?
Ang pangalan ay
Pangalan ng
ng
nanay ko
nanay ko
ay...
ay
Again, can you repeat the exact statement?
ang pangalan ng nanay.
Okay. Angie, ano ang pangalan ng tatay mo? Ng tatay ko ay tatay is father.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ang pangalan ng tatay ko
Oh, tatay ko
ay
ay
okay. Okay. So that's how you answer this question. Ang pangalan ng tatay ko ay, do not forget the linker, ay. Okay? And then for the second one, sino ang matalik mong kaibigan, you use si because you're asked sino. Okay? Okay, word for the day. The word is bayanihan. Have you heard of this word before? Bayanihan. This is actually from the root bayani. Bayani means hero. Okay, so when you say bayanihan, means a spirit of communal unity and cooperation. Okay, it's like helping one another during the, difficult times or challenging times. Now in history, bayanihan is actually equated to unity. Okay, I don't know if you have seen postcards or pictures of Filipinos carrying a hut as in HUT, or we call it bahay kubo in Filipino. So when they need to transfer a house, which is definitely detachable from the ground, the entire barrio or the entire village carries it, and then they transfer it to another location. So that's called bayanihan. Okay? Bayanihan in the Filipino culture can also be seen in calamities or disasters. For example, when you have typhoon, okay, so it's very basic in the Filipino culture that we don't leave anyone behind. Okay, so even if it's just a small community, people would really help one another. They would really donate, even if they don't have anything to donate anymore or anything left for themselves. That's definitely part of the Filipino culture. Okay, so again, bayanihan is a noun meaning a spirit of communal unity and cooperation, or simply unity. Okay. Back then in the Philippines, some of my students would oftentimes tell me, "Sir, we do bayanihan before the exam." What do you think is the meaning of that statement? We do bayanihan before exams. Definitely not during exams, because that's a big no-no if you do bayanihan, right? So they help one another, they group together and then they review for the upcoming exams. Okay, so that's how they do bayanihan. Bayanihan is good before the exam but never during the exam. You know what I mean? Okay, let's talk about ang aking mga gamit. Now, I ask you to research about the Filipino translation, right, of different colors. I hope you did that one. Okay, let's begin by discussing the translation. So you have there with you some translations, and I know you also have more translations for more colors, but I will just touch those that are basic. Okay, so first one, we have color white. Okay, color white, everyone can you say puti? Again, puti. Okay, color black is itim. Itim. For blue, there are two translations. First one is, everyone please say azul and bughaw. Okay. Piper, what is itim? What is black? Okay. Carissa, white. Okay. Michelle, blue. Okay, very good. Next one. For red, we call it pula. Okay, pula. Next one, we have yellow, dilaw. Okay, again, dilaw. And then for green, we have two. It could be first, verde. Okay, and then it could also be luntian. Okay, but luntian is like more of like Spanish time translation for green. Okay, but now what we commonly use is verde. Okay, so luntian is like the translation used this during the Spanish colonization. But I'm not really sure if this one is really like a Spanish loan word. Yeah, definitely not. But during those times, when you read, like, for example, novels written during the Spanish colonization, they use the term luntian and not verde.
Because like in Spanish.
Yeah, verde is,
green,
verde is more of like a loan word. But luntian, if you would check like the novels written by, for example, Dr. Jose Rizal, if you know him, our national hero, they use luntian. Yeah, it's more of like a primitive word for green. Okay. Next one, we have orange, we say kahel. Okay, for gray, we say abo. Okay, don't be surprised because abo is also the translation for ash. Okay, definitely and literally, color of ash is gray, so we call it abo in the Filipino language. And then for brown, we say, everyone, kayumanggi. Okay, so when you hear like, ang kutis mo ay kayumanggi o ikaw ay kutis kayumanggi, that means you are brown. Okay, your skin color is brown. Okay, that's what we mean by kayumanggi. Kutis is skin. Okay, purple. We say lila. Lila. Okay, now this one's actually ironic because red is supposed to be rosas, right? Because red is the common color for rose. But in the Filipino translation, we use rosas for pink. Okay, rosas for pink. Now I want you to memorize the translations because later on I'll be asking you to write some sentences and then you will have to use these different colors depending on the picture that I'll be giving you. Okay, so maybe that will be part of the pagsasanay. Okay, this time let's talk about positions. Because we're talking about things or objects, then it's very important to talk about positions also. First one is, everyone, can you say ibabaw? It means on the top or above. Okay, for example, ang sisidlan ng tubig ko ay nasa ibabaw ng mesa. Okay, my water container and my water bottle is on the table. It's ibabaw. Okay, next one, can you say ilalim? Okay, that means under or below or beneath. Okay, example there is, ang libro ay nasa ilalim ng mesa. Okay, under the table. And then next one, can you say tabi? Tabi, which means, okay, beside. Okay, beside. Ang laruan ay nasa tabi ng mesa. Okay? Piper, sino ang mga nasa tabi mo? Sino ang mga nasa tabi mo? Okay, can you complete the sentence? Sina. Sina. Okay. Okay, sina Eva at Angie. So if you're to complete the sentence, you could also say, sina Eva at Angie ang nasa tabi ko. Okay, so that's how you complete the sentence. Okay, that's ibabaw, ilalim, and tabi. Next one. loob and labas. Okay? What do you think is the meaning of loob? Inside. And labas is outside. For example, ang tuta ay nasa loob ng kahon. So 2 words here that you need to familiarize. What is tuta? Okay, because dog is aso. Okay, dog is aso, puppy is tuta. Okay? Kahon is box. So, the puppy is inside the box. Ang tuta ay nasa loob ng kahon. And then if it's outside, you say, ang tuta ay nasa labas ng kahon. Okay? Let me go back here. What word is common among the 3 sentences? Except for, of course, the linkers. What word here is common among the 3? Okay, nasa. Okay. How about here? Okay, the presence of nasa before the position, right? I'll talk about that one in a while. Okay, more on positions. We have between, in front of, and behind. Between, everyone, can you say gitna? Okay, very good. In front of, it's harap. Okay, and behind is likod. Okay, sample sentences. Nasa gitna ng mga halaman ang aso. What is halaman here? Nasa gitna ng mga halaman ang aso. Take a look at the picture, guys. Okay, plants, potted plants. Okay. Okay, so nasa gitna ng mga halaman ang aso. Nasa harap ng kanyang bahay ang aso. What is bahay? House, dog house. Nasa likod ng halaman ang aso, so plant. Okay, so gitna, between, in front of, harap, and then behind is likod. Okay? Simple terms to remember. So I already talked about this one when we discussed demonstrative. So I just have to repeat this one. No? We have 2 other terms that refer to position or location. Malayo is far, malapit is near. Okay? Again, malayo is far, malapit is near. Malayo sa puno ang aso. So the dog is far from the tree. Malapit sa puno ang aso, the dog is near the tree. Okay, so we use malayo for far and then malapit for near. Okay, so those are the important terms that you need to remember about positions or locations. Okay, so when you encounter them in sentences or pangungusap, for you to understand the position or location, you have to look for these words. Okay, and then go back to the translation. Okay, this time let's talk about our second lesson, mga bayan at bansa. I'm sorry, that should be at ang aking nasyonalidad. So we will talk about town, country, and nationality. Okay, some vocabularies. And I think you have heard already some of these mentioned in class. Philippines in Tagalog or Filipino is Filipinas. Okay. Do not say Filipinas because that's Spanish. Okay, when you say Filipinas. So we say Filipinas. United States in Filipino is Estados Unidos. Okay. Or we shortly call it America. Okay, with letter K, not letter C. Okay, that's how we translate it. Estados Unidos o America. Okay. Daigdig or mundo. What do you think is the English translation for that? Earth or world. Okay. We call it either daigdig or mundo. Kontinente. Okay, obviously. We have the I'm just checking out, guys. Okay, continente obviously is continent. Okay, so we have the continents here on the screen. I love geography, so I trust you on this. Next one, bansa. What is bansa? Okay, country. Mga bansa, countries. Okay, sample sentence. Ang Pilipinas ay isang bansa. Or in English, okay, the Philippines is a country. Okay, bansa. So here are other words that you can use. By the way, these are all photos from Philippine scenic spots. So we have isla. What do you think is the English for isla? Island. Okay. This one, I am proud to share that this is actually from my home province in Magsaysay, Davao del Sur. We are the rice capital of the Philippines. Yeah, so you see a lot of rice paddies, fields. So province is called probinsya. Okay, probinsya. And then this one is a photo of Davao City. Okay, the city where I'm working. So city is translated as either lungsod or ciudad. Okay, I think you're familiar with ciudad, right? Ciudad, right? With C-I-U spelling. Okay, lungsod or ciudad. For example, the entire Philippines is composed of many islands. Okay, we have big islands and then we also have small islands. And three major islands in the Philippines are Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Okay, so Mindanao, ang Mindanao ay isang isla sa Pilipinas. Okay? And then, ang Davao del Sur ay isang probinsya. So you know, a province is composed of many places. Okay, cities or municipalities. Okay, here I think you term it as town. Okay, we call it municipalities there. And then every municipality can be classified as third, second, or first class municipality, depending on the economic progress of the municipality. So for example, us here in Magsaysay, where I come from, this is an example of third class municipality because this place is highly agricultural. Okay? And then, ang Davao City ay isang lungsod. That's why we also call it lungsod ng Davao or Davao. Okay? Next one, more terms. Bayan or town. Bayan or town, bayan is just like, if we are to compare this one with big cities, it's really far from being called a city, but it's still progressive. Okay? It's just that in terms of buildings or infrastructures or technology, it's not as advanced as compared to cities. Okay, so we call it bayan or town. And then we also have, I think you're familiar with barrio or barrio. Okay, barrio or barrio, or we call it as village. So usually these are located at far-flung areas. Okay, and then barangay is the smallest unit of the Philippine society. Okay, so it's the smallest. So if you are to look at the government structure, okay, here you have the federal, the state, and the local, right? In the Philippines, we have national, and then we have local government, and under the local government, we have city or municipality, and then under these are barangays. So even if it's a city or a municipality, we have barangays within it. Okay, it's like maybe you term it here like district. Okay, it's like a district. Okay, smaller units. So yeah, that's barangay. But there's even smaller than barangay, but it's not actually considered like a government unit, and we call it purok. So do not be surprised if you can see Philippine addresses, like when someone would ask you to mail something or send a package to someone, and then there's like purok and then a number like purok 4, purok 3, or Sometimes they name it after flowers, like Purok Rosas, Purok Ilang-Ilang, examples. Okay, Purok is like a smaller government unit, but it's not actually under the government system of the Philippines. It's like the barangay is the one designating officers for the Purok. Okay, but it's only under the barangay level, not really recognized by the national level. Okay. The purpose of Purok is simply to organize smaller communities within the neighborhood.
Do we do like things together or?
Yeah. You have the term Barrio Fiesta, right? For the FASO. So Barrio Fiesta is like the village fiesta, like that. It's bigger. But in Purok, we also have Purok Fiesta. It's smaller. Like usually it's composed of 3 to 5 blocks only. That's a Purok. Yeah. Like that. It's either you call this one. It's either governed by a Purok leader. Okay, we call it like Purok president, or we also have Purok president, or it could be like a chapel president, someone who's leading the small chapel in that Purok. Okay, because we're highly Catholic, so that's why we have many chapels in most Puroks or barangay. Okay. Let's now have this conversation. Do we have any volunteer? Would like to try the conversation this week? Yeah, Dawson is smiling. I know he wants to be Pedro. Who wants to be Mimi? Okay, Piper, go. Just read the Filipino lines.
Taga Davao City ka ba?
Hindi, ako taga Davao.
Taga saan ka?
Taga Spokane.
Saan ba ang Spokane, Washington?
Nasa Estados Unidos.
Saan ka nakatira ngayon?
Nakatira ako ngayon sa Western Africa.
Okay, very good. Now, if you notice, what affix is attached before the place? Okay, taga. Okay, taga Davao City ka ba? Taga saan? Taga Spokane. Okay, we use taga. Okay, later on, I'll also explain what's the function of the affix taga. Okay, when we attach this one to words. Okay, when you are asked, taga Davao City ka ba? Okay, from the word or the signal ba, this means that this is a yes or no question, right? So you answer hindi or hindi ako taga Davao City. So you use the rest of the words in the sentence. So if you're not from Davao City, where are you from? Or taga saan ka? Saan is where, right? Taga Spokane, Washington ako. I am from Spokane, Washington. And then the next question is, where is Spokane, Washington? Or saan ba ang Spokane, Washington? So you say, of course, the bigger part of the whole. So you say, nasa Estados Unidos. Saan ka nakatira ngayon? Nakatira ako ngayon sa West Sharp Avenue. Now be careful, because the use of taga does not mean that you're currently living there. For example, in my case, taga saan ba ako? Taga Pilipinas. Pero ako ay nakatira sa Spokane ngayon. Okay, that means I'm living in Spokane now. Okay, but I'm taga Pilipinas. Okay, where specifically in Pilipinas? Taga Davao or taga lungsod ng Davao. Okay, so that's how you answer questions like this. Okay, so as mentioned, the use of affix taga, okay, this indicates where a person is from. Okay, from. Okay, example, I'd like to ask Angie, taga saan ka, Angie? Taga Shelton, so that's where you originated. Eva, taga saan ka?
Taga Seattle.
Taga Seattle. Braxon. Okay. Carissa. Taga? Okay, wherever is that? I don't know how to pronounce the word though, so I did not repeat. Okay, that is where you're from, Carissa. Okay, so that's how you use taga and then you attach the word. Okay, next one, the prefix naka. Okay, this is a special Filipino prefix that indicates a state, condition, or appearance of a person or thing. Okay, It's your condition. It's your situation at the moment. So you affix this one to a root to signify that that's your situation or condition at the moment. So when you say nakaupo, that means you are currently sitting. Okay, you are seated. Okay, so you say nakaupo. Nakatira, nakatira means live. So when you attach naka to it, it means currently living. Okay, upo is sit. So when you say nakaupo, sitting. Okay? That's how you use naka in or as a prefix. Next one. If you notice, when you are asked of where, you see the interrogative pronoun saan, right? Saan ka ngayon? Where are you now? Saan ka nakatira? Where do you live? But don't be surprised that in some Filipino sentences, they also use nasaan. Okay? It has the same meaning as saan. Okay? For example, Michelle, nasaan ang laptop mo? Nasa
Nasa
ibabaw
ibabaw
ng mesa. Okay, nasa ibabaw ng mesa. That's correct. Okay? So you can use, for example, I asked Michelle, saan ang laptop mo, Michelle? Or nasaan ang laptop mo, Michelle? They mean the same. Okay? So if you are asked of nasaan, okay, you use the word nasa. Okay, as your starter word for the response. Okay, nasa. Okay. Are you still good? Still okay? Okay, next word that I'd like to introduce. What's the first word I introduced this afternoon? Bayanihan, which means unity. Another word that I'd like you to know is dalisay. Dalisay. Okay, it means pure or undiluted. For example, in some poetic lines that we have heard in several Filipino movies, historical movies, they would say this one. Can you read the line, please? Do you understand my penmanship? Dalisay ang... Okay, what do you think is the meaning of that? Okay, that's correct, Dawson. My love is pure. Okay? Dalisay ang pagmamahal ko. Ko is ownership, right? My. Pagmamahal, love. Dalisay, pure. Okay? My love is pure. Okay, so that's how you use dalisay, which means pure or undiluted. Okay, next one, I want you to meet some of the common expressions or common words that we use in terms of nationality. Okay, we're talking about nationality. So, Filipino. Okay, Filipino is the language. Okay, again, Filipino is the language. Now, some of you might be asking, why is Tagalog in the course description of this course? Okay, why is it Tagalog or elementary Tagalog? Now, Filipino is actually a language that has been Tagalized. Okay? Now, Philippines is actually a country that is diverse in terms of language. And one of the languages spoken in the Philippines is Tagalog, which is spoken in the so-called Tagalog region or in the Luzon Island. Okay? But since many of the regions spoke Tagalog in their regions too, and later on, the Tagalog dialect, okay, or regionlect, we call it region dialect or regionlect. It was spoken all across the Philippines, and then later on, some loan words were used or included in the Tagalog grammar. That's why we have like Spanish words included in the Tagalog dialect. And then later on, Tagalog dialect with all the Spanish loan words and some Chinese and American words included into the grammar. That's why Filipino was formed as the national language. Okay, so this is our national language. And our second language is, what do you think is our second language? Okay, we use English. That's why as early as kindergarten or grade 1, first grade, students are already using English. In most homes in the Philippines, most especially those who are highly educated or economically are stable, they use English also as their primary language at home. Okay, next one, Pinoy. Okay, I already mentioned this one. This is short for, Pinoy is short for Filipino, Pino, and then they just add Y, Pinoy. Okay, so Filipino or Filipino, that's the nationality. If it's English, you say, I am a Filipino. But if it's Filipino or Tagalog, you say, ako ay Pilipino with the letter P. Okay, so Filipino is the English for Filipino. Okay, if you are a woman, you call yourself Filipina or Filipina. What do you think is hapon? This is not hapon. Hapon is afternoon. Hapon is, I think I heard the word. Hapon is Japanese. Okay, so since we were also colonized by Japanese, that's why we call Japanese Hapon. Isa kang Hapon for babae or female, we call them Haponesa. Tisay or Tisoy? And if you're a Phil-Am, not by citizen, but by blood, for example, your mother is an American and then your father is Filipino, and then your bloodline is half Filipino and half American, then you are Tisay or Tisoy. Okay? It's actually from the word mistizo or mistisa. Okay? And in the Philippines, we have a lot of this, not only from American bloodline, but also from the Spanish bloodline. Okay? And I think among the colonizers, it's the Spanish that has the most prevalent bloodline. Okay? For example, although it's not visible in me, but my great-grandmother is pure Spanish. Okay? And also other families, households in the Philippines. And speaking of Spanish, we call them Castilla. Okay, if you're half American, half Pinoy, you are called Phil-Am. Okay, Filipino-American. What do you think is Inchik? Inchik. Any idea? If Hapon is Japanese, Inchik is Chinese. Okay. But in the Philippines, what's funny is that if you have chinky eyes, even if you're Korean, Japanese, or Chinese, they call you Inchik no matter what. Okay, because you have similar features only. Yeah. Filipinos have difficulties distinguishing a Korean from a Chinese from a Japanese. Okay, some other words that we can encounter are the following. Beautiful is maganda. Okay, or we also say guapa. Okay, but it's more of a Bisaya term. Okay, but it's also used in the Filipino language. Maganda for beautiful. Pangit is, okay, you know this very well. I don't know why. Maybe you've been using this term. Okay, pangit is ugly. And then guapo, okay, is handsome. Okay, makisig, I already mentioned this one last time, right? That's one of the words of the day. But makisig is not really handsome in terms of face feature, but in terms of body structure. Okay, so that's makisig. And then, other words, malaki is big, maliit is small. Malaki, maliit. Heavy, mabigat. Light is magaan. Okay? Malaki, maliit, mabigat, magaan. That's how you remember the opposites. Next one. The clean here refers not to the verb. Okay? It's an adjective. Okay? For example, ang silid-aralan or this classroom ay malinis. Okay? It means it's clean. The opposite is could be either marumi or madumi. Okay? That's dirty or untidy. Dirty. Marumi or madumi, malinis. I want you to see the difference of the two. That's maiksi or short. And this one is mahaba or long. I don't want to promote violence here, but I just saw this one on Google and find it very interesting to watch. I'm childish sometimes too. Okay? So again, maiksi for short and then mahaba for long. Okay, remember those words. Okay, if you're tall, you are matangkad. But if you are short, you're called pandak. Okay. Commonly, those who are really pure-blooded Filipinos, they are pandak. And that's a common feature of Filipinos. But for those who have like mixed bloods already, they are usually matangkad or tall. Okay, and the last slide would be, I'd like you to be acquainted with the different directions. Directions are one of my weaknesses. Okay, not either in English or in Tagalog. Okay, I'm not really good with directions. So when I'm told when I'm asked where's the west, where's the east side, I really cannot answer. Okay, so here you have to familiarize. The English for the Tagalog for north is Hilaga. Okay, Hilaga. And then west is Kanluran. So I think Washington State is nasa kanluran ng Estados Unidos, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It's on the west part. And then east is Silangan. And then south is Timog. So in the Philippines, sunset happens at Kanluran and then sunrise happens at the east. Okay? And then if you are to mix two directions, for example, northwest or northeast, so you just mix the two terms. You say Hilagang Kanluran and Hilagang Silangan, okay, for northeast. If it's southwest, you say Timog Kanluran, and then southeast is Timog Silangan. Okay, so that's how you mix the two directions. And then I mentioned this last time. Left is kaliwa, right is kanan. Okay, kaliwa, kanan. Okay. Don't worry, I'll not be asking you to have a quiz on this one because I myself for sure will not pass this quiz. Yeah.
Is that like a thing in the Philippines to not know like directions? Because I don't know if this is just like I've noticed this, but my like international friends, they're like not good with directions either.
I think so, yeah. Because for example, in my case, I learned kaliwa and kanan as the Filipino translation only in college. I would really use right or left. If the driver would instruct me kaliwa or kanan, sometimes I would have to analyze first before getting the, yeah. And not all Filipinos are really good with directions. They're good at remembering landmarks, but not really directions. That's why when I was introduced here like this, division, that's north, and then sharp has west, and I don't know. I live in Portray, that's it. Okay, mga katanungan Everything's clear? Okay, good. I'll upload this PowerPoint. And then for your homework, I just want you to watch these short videos for you to know more about Philippines. So there's a video on Philippine geography. This one's very interesting. And then Philippine map for you to know how to label maps or identify parts of a map in the Philippines. And then acquaint yourselves also with the best tourist spots that we have in the Philippines, most especially for some of you who might be traveling to the Philippines on summer. And then, since I'm from Davao, I'd like also to advertise Davao City. So watch this video, tourism video on Davao City. And then for the, I also post some instructions regarding the online practice, okay, just on the vocabularies. Now, on Friday, we will be having an activity here in the classroom. And I want you to bring a family picture. Okay? Printed, it depends on you. But I think it would be best if you have it printed. For those who don't have printers, you can send the picture to me ahead of time and then I can print it for you before the class.
Do you want like whole family or just?
It depends to you as to how you would define a family for you. If it's big enough, I don't mind having everyone in the picture.